Hey there, viewers. It's Charlie. I'm back again, and welcome back to the G1 Marathon. And well, these are technically going to be the last figures for the marathon right now. As well, simple. They're the last G1 figures I have in my collection as of right now, and they are some Micromasters. So here I have the Off-Road Patrol, as well as the Race Car Patrol. This is where my first stops working. So to start off, here's the Off-Road Patrol, which consists of Powertrain, the truck, High Jump, the van, Mudslinger, the monster truck, and Totes, the little baby Ironhide. But yeah, Powertrain, High Jump, and Totes look like smaller versions of Prime, Trailbreaker, and Ironhide, respectively. Whereas with Mudslinger, he's more of his own entity. If I can even speak today. But of course, we need to have a look at his text. Well, not his, but their tech spec. And well, unlike a majority of figures I've been reviewing, I actually have the text back instead of having to read off the internet. I know, that is amazing. For once, I have the actual text back. I mean, we haven't had an actual text spec since I was reviewing, I don't know, Kickback. So I'll just read this off camera because I've been doing that with all my text specs. Function: covert activities. Don't follow orders, follow instincts. This quartet has an independent streak that runs as long as the Appalachian Trail. I have no idea what that is, but okay. Experts at covert operations always work well together in any combat situation. Specialize in going where no one's ever gone and doing what no one's ever done. I mean, that was supposed to be the point of the Micromasters. Continually caught up in some sort of enemy intrigue. I cannot even read today. Autobot Command trusts them to come up with brilliant countermeasures to be sprung on the Decepticons. And instead of moving my phone, I just get to hold this in front. So, as you can see, it's a bit different, because now, this text spec's a bit different, as now we have teamwork and cooperation, instead of ranking. I'm not sure what the other one that they have replaced is, but their teamwork and cooperation are both 9, strength is 6, endurance is 8, speed is 3, intelligence is 9, courage is 8, and skill is 6. So yeah. Now these guys do have their own individual quotes, and that's actually on the little instruction page, but seeing how, well, you know, it's an instruction page and that spoils the transformation, I'll just read it off my laptop when I cover each figure. So to start out, here we have Powertrain. If I can't go through it, I go over it. Okay then, so he's pretty much supposed to be tough. As I said, this guy's like a miniature version of Optimus, or hell, like, what of the orange colors? It could more be Huffer. Yeah, this guy's pretty simple. I mean, the underneath just shows the entire robot. So, let's just get on with his transformation. Take the entire top of the truck and spin it around. Take the back bend, fold that down, and then fold these up, and here's Powertrain. I mean, it's pretty simple. His head looks like a standard head, his shoulders go really high, and his articulation is just at the arms. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for Powertrain. Next up, for high jump, keep it down and dirty. Okay then, that's actually his quote. As you can see, he looks like a miniature version of Trailbreaker, because he's a little hatchback or SUV, just like Trailbreaker. Unlike with Powertrain, having a look at the underneath doesn't reveal the robots inside. And the top. And this transformation is actually pretty cool. Take the back wheels and move them out the way. That allows you to move the entire back like so. Move the front of the vehicle down and move these down. And here's high jump. Once again, pretty standard. I mean, his head's pretty standard. Can't reach past his tummy because he's so fat. So that's pretty much his only articulation, as well as the knees. So he can kneel. Although not that well. So yeah, that's it for high jump. Next up is Mudslinger. No road is too rough. No foe is too tough. And as you can see, he's a monster truck. Pretty standard. Once again, hubcaps are pretty much all screws. Once again, the underneath pretty much shows the robot mode. And to transform him, move the black things down to get them out of the way. Get the front of the vehicle. Fold that out, and then come in here and flip up his head. And that's Mudslinger's transformation. Once again, pretty standard. I'm just sounding like a broken record here. Pretty cool head. Articulation is just the arms, and these can move individually, mind you. But that's pretty much it. And finally, Tote, who, as I said earlier, looks like a miniature Ironhide. Once again, he's pretty standard. Once again, the underneath shows the robot. A rolling Autobot gathers the most Decepticons. Okay then. And for his transformation, pull out the front of the vehicle, flip it out, like we've been doing. Just to go, I can't even speak. Flip these out, like what we've been doing with the others. Like so. And pull this out and just flip that down like so. And that's pretty much Tote. Move up his arms. And on my copy, these bits just keep going down, but oh well. So once again, pretty standard robot mode. It's a pretty cool transformation. I'll give him that. Once again, articulation is just at the arms and the legs. But yeah, that's pretty much the off-road patrol. I mean, pretty standard. I mean, sorry if I glossed over them. It's just because these guys are just really simple. There's nothing much to talk about. I mean, here we can see that Powertrain is the tallest, and Tote is he's the smallest. He's the shortest. So that's it for the off-road patrol. Now to move on to the race car patrol. If I can actually get them to stay together. Because unlike the off-road patrol, these guys are a bit more fiddly and loose. But well, here we have Road Handler, Freewheeler, Swindler, and Tailspin. And unlike with the off-road patrol, once again I have to resort to the internet for the tech spec. Function, reconnaissance. In confusion, there is opportunity. Wait, isn't that Astro Train's quote? Yeah, whatever. The self-described tiny terrors of the turnpikes. This frantic force's primary role is to reconnaissance battle sites before the Autobots' big guns arrive. Fast and fearless. Don't mind mixing up with any early arriving Decepticons. A vital component in the Autobot ranks. Adept at using their superior maneuverability to harass the enemy. So yeah, these guys are a bit more dangerous than the Off-Road Patrol were. But for their stats, as you can see, that their teamwork is 8, their cooperation is 9, strength is 5, endurance is 7, speed is 5, intelligence is 9, courage is 8, and skill is 5. So yeah, that's it for the tech specs, although just like with the others, well, just like with the Off-Road Patrol, they also have individual quotes, which I'll read out once I get to each individual. And to start things out, here we have Road Handler. And his quote is, "Unwary warriors soon become wrecks." As you can see, he's a small red car. I'm not sure which model this is supposed to be. Well, I'm just gonna say that this looks like a tiny wind charger. Once again, pretty standard. Once again, the underneath is just a robot mode, and yeah, let's just transform him. So flip out the back of the vehicle like you do with so many small transformers. Flip down the front of the vehicle, move up his arms. And here we have Road Handler. I mean, nothing to say. His head's pretty reminiscent of Galvatron, honestly. Articulation's just the arms and the legs. And well, out of all the Race Car Patrol members, Road Handler is the most prominent, as from what I can remember, there was a story in the Marvel comics where he was a wrestler. So that's pretty cool. Next up, here we have Freewheeler. He looks pretty similar to Armada Sparkplug. His quote, "Avoid the potholes on the road of life." Yeah, I think he's a bit too late telling me that, but yeah. As I said, this guy is pretty reminiscent. Oh, well, this guy sort of reminds me of Sparkplug from Armada. Probably because it's the same color and it looks like the same car. But, yeah, once again, simple. Pretty much a robot underneath. Just like every other figure. And his transformation, once again, flip that out. Now what you do is fold these around entirely, and then just move the hood back. And here we have Freewheeler. I mean, once again, simple. Head's nice. Articulations in the arms. Got knees. So that's Freewheeler. Next up is Swindler, who I think is supposed to be a DeLorean, which is awesome. I might be wrong, though. Bird Rubber, not Energon. I mean, okay then. But even though this is getting repetitive at this point, simple, rubber underneath, yada, yada, yada. Although his transformation is actually a bit different. Sure, it does start with you flipping out the legs, like always. But then, the front of the vehicle folds down to form his chest instead of folding on his back. And here we have Swindler. So once again, head's pretty standard, pretty cool looking. Articulations in the arms, and on my copy, The arms are pretty loose, because often I find them like this. I mean, it does look pretty nice if that was the hands, but the problem is the hands are here. Yeah, once again, like an arm articulation. That's pretty much it. And finally, Tailspin, whose quote is, well, as every race car movie says, put the pedal to the metal. Even though I don't really feel any diecast on this guy, so I can't. But yeah, once again, it's cool car mode, rub underneath, yada yada yada. This is just getting repetitive. But here's transformation. Once again, flip this out, flip this down. And that's it, I'll vote. Finally, we have a figure who is just as good as standing as Joe Swanson is. Yes, my copy of Tailspin. Well, if you remember my previous review with 2007 movie Barricade, his Frenzy Minicon, he was also able to be knocked down quite easily. But yeah, like, everything in this figure is pretty loose, but this time it's to be expected. This is an old figure, keep in mind. This is like, what, 1989, so like, what, 31 years old now? But yeah, his head, I mean, it's pretty cool. It's got like, these little missile pods next to him. And once again, his articulation is in the leg and arms. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the race car patrol. And if I can bring in the other figures, well, as in both Micromaster patrols, that is pretty much my review on my current Micromasters. Well, hopefully I can try and fit them all in. But well, complaints about these guys, I mean, I can't really complain too much. I mean, they are supposed to be small, affordable figures. Although, if I would have a complaint about at least one, it would be with Tailspin. Because remember, this guy stands really, really poorly. He just does not stand whatsoever. Not to mention his arms are quite loose. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about these guys. Do I recommend Eva Patrol member? Well, Eva Patrol, I mean. Well, I'd say once again, if you're a G1 fan or an 80s fan, because, I mean, these guys are simple, but they are fun. Not to mention, the Micromasters did sort of pave the way for the Minicons in the Unicron trilogy and Power Core Combiners and Robots in Disguise. So they do have a charm to them. But if you want them to have more articulation, I mean, that would be a bit hard considering their size. I mean, I can't even speak. That some of the Micromasters did return in Siege. For example, Powertrain and High Jump did get figures in Siege, as did Road Handler and Swindler. But for Mudslinger, Totes, Freewheeler, and Tailspin, sadly, they weren't so lucky. But, well, maybe one day we'll have posable figures of them. So, this has been my review on my G1 Micromasters, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.